Okay, folks, this is Dr. Don back for part 2 of question 1 in lab 2. If you recall, we pasted in this code and we run it, and we got a histogram that shows life expectancy on the x-axis and the frequency or the count in each one of these little bins of the population that have that life expectancy. The next part, it says, let's look at income instead of life expectancy. And again, I'm going to go back here to the remix. I prefer reading it there. And we're saying inspect the data frame, the Gapminder, and find the name of the variable added income. And it tells us, we saw it earlier, GDP per cap with a capital P. And then it says in the R code chunk below, they went ahead and copied that into the CC4. It says we need to do some edits. Confirm, let's see, we added a ggplot layer to change the x-axis range. You can read that. That'll make the minimum go from 0 to 50,000 because there's outliers in the GPD data. The data is in US dollars, doesn't have a dollar sign, so they added that to the x-axis label. And it says change the y-axis label number of countries, not just things. So in this code, in the remix code chunk 4 below, change the name of the x variable in the AES function, and we want to replace life expectancy with GDP per cap. Now, I will show you later on in the next module, the next lab, use of a thing I call a conversion table when you have a lot of variables and data frame name changes. Here we just have one, so I'm not going to take the time to show you that conversion table. But we need to go down here and we look, we can see there's X equal life expectancy, and they want us to change that to GDP per cap. Then edit the x-axis label and y-axis label the way they told us, and edit the title. So anyway, I think we already got that code. I'm going to copy it just to be sure. Go back here, scroll on down. Yeah, it's in there already. So the first thing we need to do is change this name of the X, and I'm going to backspace over that. And it's GDP per CAPITA. And we can check that. Again, look over here. You can see GDP per cap. Good thing I checked. Get rid of that, edit it. And then we can leave this frequency count. And they said, let's put, I think it said countries. Countries, count of countries. So I'm going to go here and change this to count of countries. Change this to GDP per capita. This way I'm going to write it out. GDP per, and this is, I'm going to change this to GDP per capita. GDP per, I am tired. All right, so there we've got that. Now let's run it. And it ran correctly, and there's our histogram, and you can show how it is really drawn way out here. We have very few people with these high incomes, and a lot of people here on it. This is a form of skew. You need to look up what skew means and which direction skew this is. But that's the end of the first question, and I'll be back with some help on question 2.